Welcome to BAM TV Africa. My name remains Biliamin Adetokobo Mo Yusuf. Here in BAM TV Africa, what we do is to trace history, culture, tradition, governance, and achievement of people here in Africa and outside the shore of Africa. All you need to do to enjoy all of this, make sure you subscribe to this channel, turn on the notification button so that anytime I upload a new video, you will be the first to know. And do not also forget, like this video, share it. BAM TV Africa.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. My name is Abidemi Babatunde Babalola. I have a PhD in archaeology, so I'm an archaeologist. I currently work at the Scientific Research Department of the British Museum in the United Kingdom. And my research has been on understanding ancient glass production in Ile-Ife, southwestern part of Nigeria. How I started my research and what I have discovered so far about glass technology in Ile-Ife. Well, I've been on this research for, I think I started since 2009, which is, I think, over 10 years now. When I started, my intention was to just do some decent archaeological work, in Ile-Ife. However, as I continue on the journey of my research into, ancient glass making in Ile-Ife, we began to uncover more interesting materials pointing at the uniqueness of the glass making in Ile-Ife. It is really interesting, even for me, about our progress so far in terms of our findings and what we have been able to do with the findings. In 2011-2012 was when we had the major excavation at Olokun, and we had a follow-up excavation in 2017. And what we have seen so far is so incredible and so interesting because it clearly points at glass making in Ile-Ife, which is scientifically and dated to at least 11th century AD. Of course, I believe that it's most likely to be earlier, but based on the confirmed evidence we have so far, I think I'm very much comfortable with saying that it's not later than 11th century AD. So what is interesting about this glass making is that they were not only making glass, but they actually developed their own recipe for glass, which make the glass different from the glass we know from other parts of the world, from the Middle East, from ancient Egypt, from medieval Europe. This glass in Ife, in early or ancient Ile-Ife, is completely different from what we know from other parts of the world. What makes it different is in the concentration of the chemical composition in the glass, which is what allows us to understand the origin of the raw material. And now it is well established that the raw materials were actually sourced from within the vicinity of Ile-Ife. So the main signature of Ife glass is high lime, high alumina, which we don't see in other glass from around the world. And we also know that this glass beads, were actually fabricated out of the molten glass here in Ile-Ife at about 11th century AD, and the glass bead was widely traded, around the world, during the medieval time. which shows that Ile-Ife was very active, actively engaged in the medieval trans-Saharan and the regional trade in West Africa. Ife was, a significant center for glass making and the glass bead making in medieval West Africa. In terms of whether or not this evidence shows that Ile-Ife, has the first evidence of glass making in the world, well, that is a very kind of a big question. But I think what I can say to that is that the evidence we have from Ife about glass making is really, is overwhelming and is unique. It's about the first time we are having such very convincing evidence of indigenous, Sub-Saharan African glass technology, in the world. I mean, so the evidence points at the first local production of glass in Sub-Saharan Africa. So far so good. We have not seen the evidence from anywhere else in Sub-Saharan Africa. So I say Sub-Saharan Africa because we have evidence of glass making in ancient Egypt, which is much more earlier than the period we are talking about in Ife. So that is why I would say that as far as Sub-Saharan Africa is concerned, this is about the first time we have this very convincing and a very strong evidence of primary glass making in Sub-Saharan Africa, so which actually placed Ile-Ife within the discourse of technological invention. And when you talk about technological invention, innovation, creativities, and the development of sophisticated technology globally, now you can situate Ile-Ife within that discourse, which for me, I find that to be, very, very interesting and very, very significant for not only for what we do, but also for knowledge production and knowledge transmission sake. So this is something that we need to, transmit, not even the matter of transmitting it to the international world, but even locally within Nigeria, we also need to to transmit and to pass this message across to secondary school kids, history teachers, historians, scholars, and everybody need to know about this technology in Ile-Ife and also in Yoruba land. To wrap it up, what I would like to say is that this is number one, archaeology is not a very popular discipline in Nigeria, and then now we can see the wonders, so to speak, of archaeology and how archaeology can help us to understand a deeper past, of us that we don't really know. I mean, there is limits to how far memories and how far memories can go, but with archaeological materials, archaeological evidence, it helps us to dig deeper and to understand much deeper. So what we have from this research is a very strong and evidence of indigenous glass making in ancient Ile-Ife, which again, like I said earlier, is the first evidence of such indigenous glass making in Sub-Saharan Africa. So far so good. And this production, glass production is dated to by 11th century. It was very, very much at its peak. So that was why I said earlier that it's not impossible that this technology is actually dated much more before the 11th century. But by 11th century, it was at its peak, and Ife was a very important glass making and the glass bead production center during the medieval period. Thank you.
That was it. Thank you very much, Dr. Babatunde, for this great discovery. And a very big thanks to Ooni himself, Kabiyesi Eko. Thank you very much for supporting this and for spearheading it, Kabiyesi. May God Almighty keep you for us, Eko Baba. All my subscribers, returning and new ones, I say a very big thank you to you for being with us. And if you are new here, kindly consider subscribing and turn on the notification button so that anytime I upload a new video, you'll be the first to know. And do not also forget, like this video and share it. My name remains Biliamin Adetokunbo, more Yusuf. Catch you some other time. Bye.